Alright guys, sorry for the poor camera quality, but let's work with what we've got. Alright, so this is question 1 from the Test 2 study guide. Alright, so the first question is asking us to create a linear or exponential function based on the given conditions. So before we do this, I just want to recall that a linear equation is in the form of y equals mx plus b. And that an exponential function is in the form of y equals ca to the x, just so we don't forget. Alright, so let's look at part A. So part A says a function with an average rate of change of -2 and a y-intercept of -9. Alright, so we know that because it has an average rate of change, or a slope, we know that we're using our linear equation, so it needs to be in the form y equals mx plus b. And again, our m is our slope, or our average rate of change, and our b is our y-intercept, or our initial value. Alright, so it tells us that we have an average rate of change of -2, so we have our m, so it's y equals -2x, and then we have a y-intercept of -9, so that fills in for our b, so it's -9. And this is our answer for part A. Alright, so for part B, it says a function with a growth factor of 2.1 and a y-intercept of 3. Alright, because this is a growth factor, we know that we're going to be working with our exponential function, so we know that this needs to be in the form of y equals ca to the x, where c is our initial value, or our y-intercept, and our a is our growth factor, or decay factor. Alright, so here we know we have a growth factor, so we have our a, so we can fill that in. We have y equals, fill in our a as 2.1 to the x. And we also know that we have a y-intercept of 3, so that fills in for our c value, so we just fill in 3 right here. And then this is our answer for part B. Alright, so part C says a function with a slope of 1/6 and an initial value of 7. Well, we know that we're working with slope, so we need a linear equation, so it's going to be in the form y equals mx plus b. Alright, so we know that we have a slope of 1/6, so we can go ahead and fill that in for our m, so we have y equals 1/6 x, and an initial value of 7, so we go ahead and we add our plus 7 and fill it in for our b, and then this is our answer for part C. Alright, and then part D says a function with an initial value of 7 and a decay factor of 1/6. Alright, so there's, just like in part B, we know that we have a decay factor, so we're going to be using our exponential function, so it needs to be in the form, sorry about this blanket not being in the most convenient spot. Alright, so we have y equals ca to the x. Alright, so then we know that we have our initial value of 7, so our initial value is our c, so we have y equals 7, and then we have our decay factor of 1/6, so we just fill that in for a, so 1/6 raised to the x, and then this is our final answer for part B, or for part D, yeah.